Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this was on Sunday, December 7th, 1941. I was working, I grew up on the farm, and they hired kids like me at the sugar beet factory. I worked the night shift at Decatur, and I was driving home, had my dad's car, had a radio in it. I turned it on, said Pearl Harbor was bombed, and they didn't know where they'd hit next, so everybody was really in an uproar. But I got home at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was on Sunday morning. Because when I worked the sugar beet factory, they worked 7 days a week, so that's the reason I was there on Sunday morning, driving home at 7 o'clock in the morning when I got off work. And my mother's brother was never married, and they took him in, and he had passed away that morning. When I got home, there was about 7 or 8 cars in our barnyard. I couldn't imagine what was going on, but he had passed away, and Dr. Reusser, who was the family doctor from Bern, was there. Of course, my mother's brother, my uncle, had died, so some of the other family members were already there. So I don't know where you want me to go from there.
Well, you were drafted then in November of 1942.
Yeah, everybody had to register when they were 18, and they didn't get to me till that fall in November of 42. They were taking a bus load out of Adams County once a week. Draftees. They'd take us to Toledo, Ohio, to Camp Perry for physical. If we passed, they'd send everybody home. They took us there, picked us at a busload of us up at Decatur on Saturday morning and took us to Camp Perry and give us our examination. If we passed, why, then we had to report back a week later. But they sent everybody home, and the ones that didn't pass, of course, they stayed home, but those of us that passed our physical, we had to report the next Saturday again. And then they enlisted us. And it was only at Camp Perry, Ohio, which is near Toledo, for about 4 or 5 days, and they put us on a train, and they didn't tell us where we were going. We knew we were headed west. We knew where we were at. We go through some towns the train passed through. We kind of knew where we were headed, but we knew we were headed west, and ended up in Kansas, Salina, Kansas, which is a fairly nice town. It's not spelled like Salina, Ohio. It's S-A-L-I-N-E. In Kansas. And this Camp Perry, or Camp Phillips, Kansas, was a new camp for, we were the first ones there. They had taken over lots of farm ground and built these barracks. our whole division was there. Ended up to be the 94th Division. That's where we took our basic training in Kansas. And arrived there in November of 42, and then spent Christmas. Most of it were sick because when we arrived there, the first thing they did, they gave us about 6 different shots in our arm. I don't know what they were all for, but a lot of guys were sick, probably homesick too. And they had a base hospital that was filled up, so that those of us that got sick, we had to lay in our barracks till the medics would come in and take a look at us, take our temperature.
Then in September of 1943, do you remember going to Tennessee?
Yeah. The whole division moved to Tennessee maneuvers in September. We were there 10 weeks. We were right out among the farmers.